That was a steep drop. Or was it? Well, it was a decent drop. It was a decent drop, like 5% drop. The entire market dropped more than 5%. Some of these coins that I'll talk about in a little bit dropped 8, 9, 10%. But you know what? Here's the thing. Bitcoin is not back at 15,000. It's not at 20,000. It's above 25,000. Yes, it's a little bit lower than this morning. And it sucks. But the end is not near. And then the end is not here either. But after, I know most of you guys already know the news because I already covered it shortly after my morning stream. SEC dropped this huge lawsuit, right? And because of this news, 200 million liquidated, 200 million longs. But here's a good thing. And I will try to bring some good news, even though I'm not in a good mood. And it's really nothing to do with the crypto market. It's more to do with something else. But the good news about this is we only had about 200 million. And you could see after that, this is basically non-existent, right? So the good news about this is that a lot of people are not risking leverage anymore. I kind of figured after this news today, there would have been like $1 billion or something liquidated. No, we had 200 million and now it's it. Like it's gone. So that's the good thing about what happened today. Obviously, I think this did contribute to why Bitcoin entire sector fell. This is not just with Bitcoin, right? Obviously, this had a lot to do with what we saw. But, okay, let's recap. The SEC sues Binance, sues CZ, okay? 13 charges for security violations, okay? So, obviously, not a good look. And this also relates to Binance.us. So, obviously causing a whole lot of scare because Binance is the biggest exchange in the world and Binance.us is one of the biggest exchanges in the US, right? So, obviously causing a lot of scare. But if you read through this, it's a lot more comprehensive than just going after Binance. SEC declared certain activities in crypto being securities, and also certain chains and coins also securities. According to the SEC, according to Gary Gensler, he believes CZ commingle funds also has too much ownership in Binance and Binance.us, and he believes that BNB and also BUSD are both securities in which Binance sold. So there's a lot to digest here. But what's interesting is this. This is like the ownership structure. According to the SEC, that CZ himself on top owns CMC, which they paid enormous amount for. And then all these other companies. One, Binance Holding Limited, which is owned by him. And he's saying, they're saying 100%. Okay, first of all, CZ has investors. There's other people involved. So you can't just say CZ owns 100% of all these, right? And then it goes down and breaks down that CZ owns the company 100%, that owns 81% of BAM Trading Service, which is Binance.us. So only 19% is owned by seed investors and other people. I just don't believe that CZ himself on top there, the 5 companies, is owned 100% by CZ. That just doesn't even make any sense. Okay, it's not like CZ took it out of his pocket and just bought everything. He has investors too, right? So first of all, that map doesn't even make a lot of sense. And everything else that basically Gary and SEC declared unproven. They're alleged, okay? Here's the thing. Just because the SEC sues doesn't mean that it's factual. Doesn't mean that it's law. Most of this comes from supposedly insiders that said that CZ did this and did that and did this. They're disgruntled employees. Of course, they would say bad things, right? Again, supposedly from an ex-Binance employee, and somehow it's factual. So if someone ever gets fired and they say something, it must be true according to the SEC. And they're tweeting this. They just keep doing this. Even Gary's tweeting this. Like somehow you just have to recognize that it has to be true. If someone worked for Binance and they said something bad, it has to be true, right? Like, it doesn't even make any sense. It really doesn't. They're really grasping, and it makes me wonder. Some people are speculating that the SEC is doing this because they're going to lose the XRP lawsuit. But some are speculating they're doing this because they're going to win. I don't think it's the latter. I think they're doing this because they're fearful they're going to lose, and they need to do something else to prove their worth. Because if they lose Ripple and then they lose against Coinbase, well, then Gary's in a very bad position. He's going to look like an idiot. Of course, Binance responded to this through this blog post. Didn't really say much other than, unfortunately, the SEC's refusal to productively engage with us is just another example of the Commission's misguided and unconscious refusal to provide much needed clarity and guidance to the digital asset industry. Basically, yes, that's true. They don't want to give clarity. They want to make sure that there is no clarity at all. They don't define anything. They don't. So basically what this alleges is like, hey, SEC did not try to work with us at all. Right? If they were truly trying to better security laws, they will work with us, right? Tell us what to change. Tell us what we did wrong. Instead, they just hit us with a lot of security violations, right? And that's it. CZ, of course, says 4. People may be wondering why 4. Well, one of the things he tweeted out before was 4 is ignore the FUD. Basically, that's what he's saying. All systems are standing by. There's nothing going on with deposits or withdrawals, right? And they will respond in kind, basically, right? I think Binance is getting ready for a multi-year lawsuit against, or a multi-year fight against the SEC, right? Kind of like Ripple. Here's the thing. Binance has even more money than Ripple. The founder of CryptoQuant says, hey, if you're worried about exchanges or Binance exchange reserves, is still high. I'm sure some were removed, but overall, the number of Bitcoins, the number of Ethereum is still high. So obviously people outside the US, not really fearful about this at all, right? And here's the thing. Keep in mind that SEC is a government agency in the U.S. Binance.com is not a U.S. company. They're not open in the U.S. So I don't even get this concept that U.S. agencies can target foreign companies. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. I think the only connection is because, yes, there is a Binance.us. So they're alleging all these things and all these connections so they could actually target Binance. But Binance is not even a US-based company. So how does that even work? I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense.